Johnson, good to see you again. This is Mike. You can trust him. He looks just like you. Plus, 2 against 1 is more intimidating when we force someone to sign a loan.
And I'll be sucking up to you in order to keep up the illusion.
So, here are your low monthly payments and interest rate as we promised. Here's where they triple. The rest of this stuff, don't think a lawyer can read this. It protects us. Make sure we get your home when you can't pay us back.
Such a lovely house.
Yeah. But don't worry. We're going to sell you credit life insurance. You don't really need it, but
Puts lots of cash in our pockets.
you look nervous. We better hurry and get you to sign. Or I'll pretend to ruin your credit with one phone call.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.
Every day, online predators make their way into homes uninvited and unnoticed. Help delete online predators. To learn what you can do to protect your kids' online life, visit cybertipline.com.
Hi, and welcome back to DAP Ministries TV show. DAP Ministries presents, and I'm your host for today, Reverend Darrell K. Smith, aka DK Smith, and we thank you for joining us. Hey, don't forget to give a shout out to Pastor Willie Williams, pastor of the True Love Missionary Baptist Church, and of course we thank God for this opportunity just to share with you on this day. Now, I did a little tease before the break, talked about toys and tools, and I get that from Paul and his writing to the Corinthian church, where he says, when I was a child, I thought as a child, I acted as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. I'll share with that in just a minute. And the other thing I've mentioned about the fact was one of my favorite things that my daddy taught me. We used to sit down and have a quote-unquote round table discussion in the kitchen table, as my daddy would talk to me. He would talk about the fact that, basically say one of the things that you need in life is 3 things: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Oh, how many times have we heard that? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Well, and I'm just giving you a definition in case you didn't know what knowledge is, but knowledge is the information you have learned. Knowledge, to know, K-N-O-W, know. The information that you have learned. We learn from school. We learn 1 + 1 is 2, and so on. That's knowledge. It's the information that you have learned. And we have a better understanding what knowledge is because it is something that is in our brains, more or less, that we've learned. I was listening to a 5-year-old the other day, and I think she's in kindergarten or pre-K, whatever like that, and I overheard her doing her numbers. And she did 40, 49, and then when she got to 50, she said 5-1, 5-0, 5-1, 5-2, and so on. And I said to myself, I said, well, I'm not saying that she's not learning right. She's got the knowledge, but I'm used to saying 50, 51, and 52. But she's a child, and so she still has to grow up and know what 5-0 means and what 5-1 means. And so knowledge is the information that you have learned. Wisdom. Now, wisdom is the ability to use that knowledge in a profound way. And so wisdom brings on that knowledge to say it's not 5-0, 5-1, 5-2, but it's 50, 51, and 52. Wisdom takes that knowledge, if you could say that, and puts it together whereby you can have a better, and I don't want to use the word understanding, but a better meaning of what that is. Now, I must admit, a lot of people have knowledge. That's good. But without wisdom, with that knowledge, it's almost just like having a bunch of numbers and not knowing what to do with them. Now, you know what 5-1 is, 51 and 5-2 and all like that. The wisdom gives you that way of putting it together and have a better way of knowing the meaning of 5-1, 51, 5-2, 50, and so on. Knowledge, wisdom, and what's that last? Oh, understanding. Now remember that knowledge is a part of the wisdom and the whole wisdom. And wisdom goes beyond learning the facts. And so, knowledge, wisdom, and one of my favorites, understanding. Think about it now. Understanding. This table here is standing on something. It's standing on the floor. The chair that I'm sitting in is standing on the floor. I am sitting on the chair. This is the table. But to have a better meaning of understanding is to this. That thing that you stand on, that belief, that truth that you stand on, that's understanding. In other words, we take the numbers that we know, and I use numbers because that's just, 1 + 1 is 2. We get that wisdom, we get that knowledge, we get that wisdom, but then with understanding, we know whether to apply that 1 + 1 = 2. With that understanding, we know the value of that knowledge and wisdom. And I'm saying this in a primary sense, way, because a lot of people just have that knowledge and wisdom. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. But they don't have a sense of understanding. And understanding is the thing that you've got to make the foundation on, the thing that you stand on, the belief, if you want to say, that you could hold on to. The song says, hold to God's unchanging hand. Now, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's just something that's biblical. In fact, let me share with you what the word says in Proverbs. Proverbs 24, verses 3 and 4 says, through wisdom is a house built, and by understanding it is established, and by knowledge shall be the chambers filled with precious and pleasant riches. Can I say that again? That's from Proverbs, the 24th chapter, verse 3 and 4. It says, through wisdom is the house built. Wisdom builds the house, and by understanding it is established. Think about it. Wisdom builds the house, and understanding is that foundation. Remember I just said that? What you stand on? And by understanding is established, and by knowledge shall all the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. With that knowledge, think of that house as your brain. With that knowledge, you got things coming in there. That knowledge of this, that knowledge of that coming in there, that knowing what it is coming in there. That's the understanding. That's the part of knowledge and everything. And the best part of that is the fact that we all can apply this to our lives. Now, the other thing I said, and I'm not rushing, but I do want to take advantage of the time, is really talking about the difference between a toy and a tool. I said earlier, as Paul said, when I was was a child, I thought as a child, I acted as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. Now, I'm not getting in trouble with anybody, but what is this? It's a phone. I've got it on vibrator silent, so it shouldn't make no noise. But for some people, this is a toy. I could play solitaire, I could play card games or whatever like that. I could play this. I could use this as a toy. But what I really use it for is a tool. When I read the scriptures that I just did, I got it from here. I used it, and I looked at it, I looked it up, and I got what it meant. Right? And that's really what I want to talk about as I close out this section, is put down the toys and pick up the tools. Put down the toys that we have in our life and really use them as a tool. Oh, I'm not saying nothing wrong with having, the phone as a toy, but it's not really the function of a phone or device, as you will. It's to give you that knowledge, give you that wisdom, give you that understanding. It's a tool. Use it as a tool. It's the tool that is given to us. Years ago, remember what I said before the break? We've come a long way. We've got a long way to go. Yeah, years ago, I saw somebody put a little poster up about how far we've come from the Jetsons. You remember the Jetsons, the cartoon show about the futuristic things and all like that? They said, when you could press a button, order something. They had a screen. On the screen, you could order something. You work remotely from home, and you could do things. The things that we take for granted now, they more or less played with on the Jetsons cartoon. Now, of course, we don't have flying cars yet, but that might be another thing that's on the way. Whew, can you imagine we have flying cars? I know gas is high, but give me a flying car. And I'll fly out of here. But that's still to come. Again, I say, what? We've come a long way, but we've got a long way to go, but we've got so much to look forward to. I am looking forward to flying cars. Yes, indeed. But listen, speaking of that, my time is running out. But before I do, again, want to thank Reverend Willie Williams for this opportunity. And again, we thank God for you. Remember, contact information is on the end. And to continue to pray for me as I make my way around without transportation. But as long as I got 2 feet, as long as I got the bus, I'm around. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. This is our prayer. God bless you.